Well, hello everybody. Welcome to P.B.M. Money. Today I want to talk about a flaw that I have found in the YouTube world that everybody apparently strives for. And that is finding sponsors. Now, in the YouTube world, if you get AdSense, you get X amount of dollars, depending on the genre that you're in and the watches that you get. In addition to that, you could also get a sponsor. Now, why is this a flaw? Well, I kind of stumbled on it. I mean, I knew that it existed, but I didn't realize that it was a flaw until it got exposed. And here's what I'm talking about. A while back, there was a company called FTX. And this company was involved with crypto, investing, and all the other things. And all 5 of the guys that I was watching on YouTube for finance, Graham Stephan, Jeremy Lefebvre, Meet Kevin, Andrew Jick, and Brian Jung. All of these people belong to the same talent group. And all of these people were paid huge sums of money by FTX. Now, FTX turned out to be a Ponzi scheme. And I remember watching this when before FTX got involved. Graham Stephan, specifically, was anti-crypto. Meet Kevin was anti-crypto. And then all of a sudden, I noticed over time, not too much time, but over time, they began to soften. And then all of a sudden, in the group of this 5, Andrew Jick all of a sudden became the self-appointed expert in crypto. And they had the one guy on there that was a millionaire in crypto. Dogecoin, I believe, was the one that this guy was on, and he didn't fit into the type of group, but yet he got a lot of appearances on these different programs in order to push crypto. Now, in theory, this should not be an issue. TV shows, movies, they all have sponsors, okay? However, think of the individual. Think of the character of the 5 individuals I just talked about. They all had a number, whatever that number was, to come on and tell their followers what FTX wanted them to know, not what they thought. Because if they were true to their word, they would have stayed right where they were. Crypto is not an investment. Crypto is a game. Crypto is a con. Crypto is not what they made it out to be. At one point, I remember Graham Stephan saying 3 to 5% of your total investment portfolio should be in crypto. 3 to 5%. Wow. From anti-crypto to putting 3 to 5% of your investment portfolio into crypto in a few months is unbelievable. And the way that they did that was because FTX was saying, hey, if you'll push us, we'll write you a check. You just name the numbers. So the followers of these 5 guys put their money into crypto, and it just kept going. All 5 of these guys were paid a ton of cash to push FTX. FTX was a major sponsor of Millennial Money, which had 4 of these guys on there. They were a major sponsor of all of their individual shows. And let me give you their names again. Graham Stephan, Jeremy Lefebvre, Meet Kevin, Andrew Jick, and Brian Jung. Now, there were some others in that lawsuit, but those are the ones that I was watching. Now, everything was going fine for them. They were pushing crypto. They were having their shows. Graham Stephan had increased his productivity. He was doing probably 7 or 8 shows a week on 3 different shows at least. He was doing Millennial Money, Iced Coffee Hour, the Graham Stephan Show, the Second Channel. He was flying high, making tons of cash. Then all of a sudden, oops, FTX filed bankruptcy. It was a Ponzi scheme and the guy got busted, as they always do. Now, what raised red flags was as soon as they filed bankruptcy, Millennial Money stopped. And that was a profitable show. A lot of people watched that show. And they just shut it down immediately. Not only did they shut it down, but they erased the program, so you can't go back and watch. There's a reason for that. The owner goes to jail after it's found out that it's a Ponzi scheme. And the influencers that we were talking about, they get sued, including their talent company, for $1 billion, with the B, billion. Now, I don't know how long ago that's been, 6 months, a year, whatever it's been, but I do know that a couple of these have settled. I know Meet Kevin settled, so they're out of the mix. And I think a guy by the name of Grant Cardone, I think he was another one that was in that, and he settled. The other 4, as far as I know, are still being sued. And we'll see what happens. But my point is, it's a flaw in the YouTube system. Am I saying they shouldn't have sponsors? No, I believe in capitalism. I think they should have sponsors. What I do think needs to happen is they need to have a scale of how much is available per genre. Like if you're a female influencer with a vlog, you should get, and you want to push makeup, there ought to be a minimum and a maximum that you can make per sponsorship. That way there's no chance of somebody coming in and just writing a blank check and changing everybody's opinion. And if we use the female vlog as an example, what if this person liked Maybelline makeup, but somebody came along from a competitor and said, hey, I'll write you a check for X amount of dollars if you'll push ours and don't talk about Maybelline anymore. It's changing her mind. It's changing her public opinion. Now, she may still use Maybelline, but what she's telling you as you watch her vlog is, don't do Maybelline. Do this one. Now, I know this has been an ongoing thing, even when TV was on and they were, they'd get endorsements. I believe people should not endorse things they don't use. Now, did these 5 or 6 use FTX? I don't know. If they did, they didn't come out and say it that I know of. But the fact is, it changed the money that they were writing, these 5 guys, changed their opinion, and they were all on the same page, and they're all from the same talent company. The solution, I think, is to have guidelines, minimums and maximums, and base it on facts. Number of subs, length of time, number of views, number of sponsors. That way, nobody's getting rich off of one company like these guys did with FTX. So there is a flaw in the YouTube system, and Somebody needs to address that, because I'm sure that in the FTX system, the company FTX was making so much cash that a lot of people lost a lot of money. And a lot of those people got that information from these five influencers. And they're called influencers for a reason. If people didn't listen to these guys and invest their money, FTX would not have written them a check. But they pushed it. People listened to these influencers, and people put their money in, and people lost their money because of these five guys. Since I have found this out, I have unsubscribed to all of the guys that I know that I was watching that had anything to do with FTX. And here's why. It's not that FTX went bankrupt, that they were a scam. There's lots of scams out there. There's lots of bad actors out there. But in this particular genre, the personal finance genre, if these guys that claim to be influencers can't tell the difference between a scam and a real offer, they have no business being on here. And if they did know the difference and they took the money anyway, that speaks a lot to their character. Neither of those outcomes is something that should be allowed for YouTube influencers. There needs to be filters, and there needs to be a clear vision so that the people that are watching know exactly how much or how often they're being sponsored by these guys. That's all I wanted to talk about. You guys have a great day, a great week, and happy investing. And pay attention to your personal finance, people.